and sings Pokemon rap. Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Hey, this is the GatorEX podcast, a podcast that happens every 2 weeks. It's hosted by me. We have a rotating cast. Today I'm joined once again by Kay and Bait. Last time we had the degenerate talk, but this time we've got we've got some good stuff going on. Say howdy. And why are you all... everyone's taking off their shoes except me. I got a hole in my sock.
Yeah, it's because you just scrub.
It's my house. It's my place.
Yeah, and you spill soda in your place, and now we're taking that risk. They can't... They don't know what
you can hear everything.
They can hear...
all the sound waves are showing up.
Treat it as ASMR. They can hear it, but they can only
ASMR.
imagine what your floor is like. Is it hard floor, or is it soft? Is it... Does it feel like a cat, or does it feel like a door? No one knows.
It's soft. But point is...
There's like 5 geckos in here. What's our problem?
So, this entire week, I've been thinking about clout and what it really means. And what's so funny?
Considering that, like, if you're gonna go on and be a special guest at an event, you better have a cloud following.
Exactly. All right, so here's the thing. So, we're going to a small anime convention in like 2 weeks. And apparently there's a form you can fill out to be listed as a special guest. And Hermsor, who he's like he used to be a PokeTuber, now he's an anime tuber. He's listed as a special guest because he lives in the Los Angeles area. So I figure I should be able to. I mean, now's the time to cash in on my clout. Pokemon game coming out this year. Got a decent YouTube channel. I've got a podcast now, successful podcast at episode 4. Actually, we successfully made it to episode 4. We're not successful yet. And I got my birthday coming up, so I got to cash in on that birthday clout. Which by the time this is out, it's going to be past.
Who knows? Life has many different doors that you can walk through. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's a minute. Maybe it never comes out because we got struck by lightning.
With that said...
That's very deep.
I try to make myself sound deep so no one realizes I'm actually very dumb.
I don't know. I felt real dumb this week. Just general things. But, like, I mean, it's a good week now.
But, hey, you know what's something that makes you sound smart?
What?
Pokemon! Because
exactly.
Everyone is just kind of the same base level.
Because that's the one thing I know. Which actually, yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield.
So what do you know about Sword and Shield?
I know there's a sword and there's a shield, and there are lots of rumors and lots of clickbait.
Okay.
Has anyone already done an Aegislash is going to be the final boss?
Yes. Like, oh, guys, Sword and Shield has been around for years now. It's our Aegislash is just so conflicted. There's the one where he's sweating, like trying to pick one of the 2 buttons to press, sword or shield.
Wait, so Sword and Shield was an X and Y, right? Or was it
no, Aegislash was in X and Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean the Americans stole their legendary?
Well, no, XY was Kalos.
Wait.
That's France.
So Black and White had Aegislash, no?
No. Kalos, the France, had
so the
Aegislash.
French stole the Legends legendary.
Yeah, they also stole the World Cup from them.
Is this the part where we now transition into becoming Fate lore about how John the Arc and Marie Antoinette stole?
Okay, that's another franchise. We're not going to go into.
You're right, because if we stuck with you, we'd be here for an eternity.
How was the... I'm mad I didn't get to go to you guys with the Fate convention or expo thing.
That was awesome. People actually knew what they were talking about, and people were actually cosplaying as things like, hey, in character and cool. They knew what they were doing, and it was just all around fun.
Meanwhile, I was there trying to make random Pokemon and JoJo memes, acting the idiot. Like, so if there's so many different types of these characters, why don't they just try to fight to see who's the best? Immediately followed by, they do. It's the entire point of the show.
Yeah. There's only like 3 people who bit your bait.
and I can't tell if that shit means I'm successful that they actually took it, or sad that more people didn't take it.
I mean, if anything, it means that, like, well, I think you should have expected that you get 0 bites. And anything more than that's a success.
I think in Anime Expo, there's more suckers for you to bite, so...
Yes, yeah.
At Anime Expo, there's more plebs who, like, are willing to fight me for it, whereas they're like,
These are the hardcore people who knew what they were talking about.
I don't know. I want to go, like, hardcore mode with conventions. Not like all the big conventions, but at the very least, like, okay, went to SoCal Retro Gaming Expo. You guys went to the Fate thing, which I didn't get to go to. And then got the other anime one in March, and then there's another anime one in April.
Yeah.
So that's like, oh, if we just like don't do Anime Expo,
to be honest,
just take the money we would have spent on Anime Expo, go to all these ones.
The small ones are turning out to be a lot more fun than Anime Expo. Anime Expo just being a hassle at this point.
Yeah.
I think it's more that like the smaller communities are actually acknowledging, you know what, at least we know we're one thing. If you go to Fate, you're just getting nothing but Fate. If you go to JoJo, which I'm probably never going to get, you'll at least be getting that. Whereas Anime Expo is trying to appeal to so many different people with so many different things.
So
It's basically like Los Angeles Comic Con at this point. And there is a Los Angeles Comic Con, but like Anime Expo is just like bigger.
Yeah,
it's
about that.
all encompassing.
$137, and that's opening price. Like, damn.
Yep.
I think it's more just like the Deadpool of the series. And let me explain to you why. At almost every convention, you will find a Deadpool. Either he's memeing, he just comes in as Deadpool, or someone just puts on the Deadpool mask and say, it's me, but I'm also Deadpool.
Or he's Deep Pity. Who's actually going to be at that one convention we're going to. He's listed as a special guest.
So is Lily Pichu.
Oh, yeah.
But for these actual conventions, no one would go to as Deadpool, which I even brought up with you. Like, I was expecting one Saber Deadpool, if nothing else for the meme. But then I'm like, no, wait, these people actually do like it. I'm the newcomer here. I'm the plus one. All these others actually come here knowing what they want. When they buy it, they're not just saying, oh, that looks like a decent franchise. Or, oh, she looks like a nice waifu. I'm gonna buy her. They're like, no, I actually gotcha'd for her. I rolled her. There's a story behind why I want to buy this one idol, and then I got it.
Like I say, it's
like
I was so surprised because Raida, which is one of the people who draws Shuten Raiko and Moriarty, he does artwork. He has fan art about his own characters, and I thought no one else would know about that. I was like, oh, that's cool, but no one else is gonna ever see these, basically. But people were actually cosplaying the costumes that were just fan art. I was like, oh my god, you guys know your things. You actually know what you're talking about. You walk the walk. It's like,
the dedicated thing. Like, how many people did you see like cosplaying as the fan art?
2 people of that one, but there was like 3 other people dressed as a different fan art from different people. It's like, cool.
I also see it like with your Asuna figure.
Uh-huh.
Like when you bought her, did you really know about Sword Art, or would you just like she looks kind of cute and I'm gonna get her?
Well, yeah, because I got that last year and I watched Sword Art like 2 years ago.
He ain't no casual.
Which I haven't watched 3 yet. I've been putting it off so much. I'm gonna watch it. Okay, fine. I feel like I'm doing good in terms of anime like this season. So, like I said, I'm watching basically everything good and popular, as well as like just the trash. Let's see, watching Promised Neverland, Mob Psycho 100 season 2. Crap, what was the Dororo. No, I put an extra R. Quintessential quintuplets. Stupid Domestic Girlfriend.
That is a lot of trash.
That's a lot. That's okay. It's trash, but it's hooked me so bad. There's a new episode tonight. Like as soon as we're done with this, when I can, well, because I'm best at watching anime just like with just the lights off. Well, I have like, okay, fine. That light there, right? That light. I turn off the main light here and I turn that light on, because like it's a transitional thing between bright lights and like total darkness when I go to sleep. So I told that to Nerds, who on the last pod, and he says, so it's a nightlight. It's not a nightlight. It's not a. It's a low light.
Have you ever watched Fairy Tail?
Why?
Because at the very beginning of it, it always says Natsu comes out like, "Hey, make sure to watch your anime in a brightly lit room to not hurt your eyes."
That's just.
Yeah, I remember. Well, no, well.
That's what like visual novels and others of their variety say. Like, if you're watching this, please make sure that you're in a decently lit room, because you're probably going to be staring at this for a couple hours.
All right. So here's my argument, though. That's not for my eyes. Like going to low light environment. That's not for my eyes. That's like to help rest your body, like ease down. Because what's that sleep thing? I might as well straight up like just call in my brother and just like, hey, give me your knowledge on like stuff or whatever. Huh?
Sleep what now?
Give me your well, whatever. There's like a sleep chemical or whatever, right? Melatonin or something, like that your body produces more when it's like dark and helps you. Well, point is like it's to help
sleep. You talk about.
Well, okay, like you see, okay, on a scale of like 1 to 10, how bright is this place?
7.
Decently bright.
Yeah, it's pretty bright. For one thing, I hate yellow light bulbs. I'm using a white light bulb, and I'm only using one. Because again, it's just so much better to see things. And again, for recording videos, it's just best. I've been meaning to put in like 2 light bulbs, so it's like just even brighter and better. So that's the default. Like everywhere else here is just yellow lights, and I hate them. They're terrible. White light is best, I think. So turning off the white light, and then that light is blue. Like that lamp that I turn on is blue. Well, actually, you can change.
I was just about to say, at least you're not a hipster and got blue light bulbs.
Stop. No. Like, okay, it's. All right. Well, I was gonna say. All right, fine. It's a light bulb from Five Below, and it changes color. That doesn't make it any better though, because it's even. It's got a little remote that changes the color too. Okay. But no,
see, it's not mainstream. You're good.
So fine. It's a blue light, and it's not very bright. So like just overall, it's and again, it's not a nightlight. It's like a transitional thing. It's just better to help.
I use yellow light bulbs because it hurts my eyeballs.
All right, fine. I must sound terrible. You're right. This does sound terrible. This does. Well, it doesn't hurt my eyes.
The purest of white.
It doesn't hurt my eyes. Just like yellow light bulbs just look gross.
Blue light bulbs raise my melatonin.
No. All right, fine. I dare you to try it. I dare you to buy like a small lamp, and then just like, or just whatever you have. Just like go to like for maybe
you sheeple.
Like an hour. No, not them. You guys personally. Like an hour before you go to sleep, just like switch to low light. Because all right. For one thing, because I'll keep this light on, right? And while this light's on, I'll be like, up and at 'em, either doing laundry, folding laundry, or like writing something on my computer, or recording a video or something, or playing games, or I don't know, eating at like 9 or 10 o'clock, which I haven't done in a long time, thankfully. But and that's when I'm up and doing something. And then when I'm like, all right, gonna change into like sleeping clothes. Gonna turn off the main light, put on the low light. That's the time where it's like, all right, lay down in bed, blankets on, and then I can just like chill out and maybe start watching anime or just like lay down a little.
Watch the latest Pokemon episode and sit down and realize I'm probably gonna never live this life.
No, I don't.
Out and adventuring.
I don't watch the Pokemon anime. So like I said, tonight's Friday night, so my plan would be all right. So unfortunately, Domestic Girlfriend new episodes on Friday. Which, okay, that show is like...
Hey, Josh, you going out tonight? Nah. Better things to do.
I got Domestic Girlfriends to deal with. Oh, man, lucky you. Hangs up phone. Yeah.
Lucky me? Okay, that shows... Alright, there's so much I hate about it.
But so much...
But, like, I'm gripped. I'm hooked. Somehow. Because the premise is, like, terrible. The character's terrible. Well, The characters are terrible, and I'm rooting for a relationship in it that's terrible. I hate this so much, but I can't stop watching.
You're too deep in.
I'm too deep.
You want to teach her.
No, she's the worst. The teacher's the worst person in the entire show.
Kevin, she's married. It's not stopping.
No,
her,
she's
come
not.
On.
No. She's not married. She's
Wait,
dating.
You're going for the mom?
No. No. The teacher's dating a married guy, which is terrible. That's why she's terrible. She's the worst character in the whole.
Let's just go back to Pokemon.
I'm being insulted about my quote unquote nightlight. I'm being triggered by this terrible show.
Okay. Let's talk about a subject we all want: Pokemills. Will we get another?
No.
Will we get another Lusamine? Yes or no?
No, whatever we get she's gonna be British, and no Brits.
Well,
I mean, okay, fine. Disclaimer. Yeah, fine. Brits are fine. You're all cool, I guess.
A Brit is fine too.
Yeah, but
I guess.
But I live in America for a reason.
Well, according to the internet, half of the cast is just gonna be Scottish.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun to do.
So they're just gonna get mad when we chuck the monkey into the water.
No, that's the worst part because we meme him, but will anyone actually choose him, or is he gonna be the Venus, or is he gonna be the Bulbasaur of his generation?
I don't know how popular are the grass starters typically. Well, okay, last generation the grass starter was like the most popular. Rowlet.
I mean, it's Grass Ghost. I feel like that typing
that's
alone.
I don't remember it. Grass Ghost.
What was the final? Decidueye?
Yeah, Decidueye.
Decidueye.
I mean, Grass Ghost is already like. I mean, we had that one tree in X and Y, and I don't like to talk about him because it just hurts me. He does not look cool at all.
What? Oh no, I think it looks cool.
I mean, he was literally he was a tiny shrub, pumpkin head looking thing, and then it just straight up became a tree.
Yeah, it is kind of a basic like haunted tree thing.
I just like
with the spider legs.
So when we got Decidueye, and it's like grass ghost, but he's just a straight up owl, so you'd think he'd be flying. You're like, that is pretty deep. That is pretty nice.
Owls can see ghosts.
Would you prefer a grass flying?
That'd be like double to ice.
Well,
electric wouldn't really do that much. So.
Grass as a whole, I don't really like as a typing. Because it's like never really good. It's got grass. Plain grass has got 5 weaknesses. Like literally almost anything you add will just add on one more weakness, which is why like, and I don't even know if like I think typically they try to stray away from like Pokemon having like 7 weaknesses, because like I don't think there's a Pokemon with 7 weaknesses. I'm not sure. Obviously there are type combinations that can just like, I don't know. Well, it's funny though the way they build everything, because sometimes grass can like cover for weaknesses of other things, and the additional type can cover for weaknesses for grass.
But usually grass, being like one of the weaker ones, just doesn't really apply for it. The only reason that I like grass was because during my younger years, everyone said, oh, you gotta choose Charmander, you gotta choose Squirtle. And I was just like, no, I'll be the hipster before hipsters were a thing. I'm gonna choose Bulbasaur and prove you guys wrong. Grass poison. Immediately after playing it, he is the slowest, he is the heaviest, he doesn't hit as hard as he should.
But no.
Why did I choose him?
He is good though. Well, with setting up, right? Setting up Venusaur becomes great.
If you know what you're doing, but if you're playing it and you're like the young kid who doesn't care about
yeah.
moves and he doesn't care about typings, you're just like, oh man, grass poison. What's a toxic spike? What's that do? Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna just go with solar beam.
Leech seed, that's too slow. Let me use the razor leaf.
Yeah, it does like decent damage. I'm pretty sure I could beat everyone up. Take that to the championships.
Vine Whip, let's go. Yeah, that is the thing. I think mostly I went with Squirtle, which, by the way, I got that awesome Squirtle plush.
Which I saw. Very nice.
Yes, I like it because, I like the Rowlet plush because it feels like a ball whenever you hold it. I like the Squirtle plush because it feels like a child, except they don't make childs that small.
Well, they do. They just grow out of it.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so the Pokemons with the most weaknesses are the combinations Ice, Grass, Psychic Grass, Psychic Rock, Grass Dark, Fighting Rock, Rock Dark, and Soul Rock and Lunatone are the only ones with Psychic and Rock.
Do the others exist? What are they?
The other ones are Psychic and Grass, which is Execute, Executor, and
Yeah.
Centipede.
Okay.
Ice and Grass, Snover, and Abomasnow.
Yeah.
Grass and Dark, Nuzzleaf, Shifttree, Cacturne. Terracoin is Fighting and Rock, and Tyranitar and Mega Tyranitar are Rock and Dark.
Yeah. Although, well, Terrakion, right? Terrakion's Fighting Rock. That has a lot of weaknesses, but like Terrakion was one of the best Pokemon of like generation.
Well, like Soul Rock and Lunastone have a weakness to ground, but it's levitate.
Oh, they have levitate.
So, like, they have something to cover it, but they still have a 7 weaknesses.
Yeah.
The only reason I ever stopped not liking grass was only Gen 5, and only because Snivy, which eventually became Superior, and I know people saw the great video and were like, oh man, Superior, which has questioned many things, but to me it was like, that was when I was getting back into Metal Gear Solid, so just literally just having like a solid snake and a liquid Oshawott was just like, for me, like,
perfect.
I get the reference, I understand everything now.
Whoa.
And then when it became Superior, I'm like, that is a pretty cool looking snake.
Yeah, no, I always thought like of Superior as like cool. I never really got the whole like, oh my gosh, it's a hot snake. Oh, it's so elegant. She's beautiful.
Is that where the whole like Bara thinking?
That's where people say it started.
And then they said, oh, let's just apply it to the younger generations and then see if it still works.
Like, okay, the Bara Waifu and the Edgelord thing is like just a fan theory basically. Which is the whole like, oh yeah, grass starters are based off of extinct things, and water starters are based off of weapons, and then fire starters are the Chinese zodiac, which that one seems a little more credible.
Yeah.
But the whole like, oh yeah, the water Pokemon are weapons. I think that's kind of okay for Alligator specifically. It's like, oh yeah, he's brass knuckles. It's like, really? That's what you're going with. And then Swampert, it's like, oh yeah, it's like these ancient samurai battle fans or whatever. Which I'm gonna sound dumb not knowing that, but that one is also like, what, because he's got big hands. and then Empoleon is like, oh, it's a trident.
The trident is only because of his head, but other than that, it's like nothing much to it.
Because he's a king.
See, the thing is that like I've never played Diamond and Pearl. No, but
Heathen. No.
To be honest, it looks like the coolest one. To be honest,
I like it.
No, I don't mean like in terms of gameplay or anything, but the Pokemon look all sleek. Like stinking Empoleon, like that is one of my top like 5 coolest looking ones. Like he looks like he means business. He can go in there and he can kill you. Like
Infernate's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for one thing,
Which is
do you realize how many primate Pokemon we have? We have a lot. We got the Mankey evolution line.
which is just literally 2 balls of fur with fists.
Oh, we got Apom evolution line. We got Slacking. We got Infernape, those evolution lines. We got the Elemental Monkeys, which are 3 already. We got Passimian and Oranguru.
I forgot about those.
I think everyone.
And now we got Grookey.
Well, we
That's
don't
a
know
lot.
what he's gonna end up being.
Well, he's still a monkey, so it's still a primate.
What if he?
There's a lot of primate. This is the planet of the apes.
What if he just evolves into a simian?
No. What if he like starts off as like a monkey, and then we do the evolution chain line where we start off as monkeys, we became apes, and then he becomes human. So it's literally him becoming a tiny monkey, becomes a giant gorilla, then Tarzan's his way to being like a hunky man.
It's just a guy with a suit. That's it. That's the final evolution of Grookey. It's just a guy with a suit and he's got the leaf hair.
He evolves into Bigfoot. Oh my god, big meter.
Just big meter.
He becomes the green giant.
Green giant.
Come on, man.
Big Mita. Is that how they'd say? I don't know.
And we've already waifu-ized the hell out of him.
Out of all of them. Like, I mean, okay. Here's the thing. Apparently, it took 30 minutes for there to be lewd fan art.
According to it, like
I'm so proud of this community.
I'm not. No, well,
it is the thing I hold philosophically speaking of the best and worst of humanity. The best of us can make art, and then the worst of us can loot it. But then you also say like the best of the looters are able to turn basic anime art into like actual things that you'd say, wow, that is actually something I go after. Whereas the worst of us just like do something in MS Paint and then just throw it out to the wind.
just big circles. Like, okay, with the starters, like, well, actually, okay. First of all, which starter you guys like so far? Just, like first impressions from first evolution.
What were their names again?
Grookey the funny monkey, and then Scorbunny is the bunny, and then it's Sobble. Which me personally, I'm a Sobble out main. I almost said main Sobble squad because it's a water reptile Pokemon.
I like Big Chungus because I don't like the other 2.
It's just,
I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna stick with Scorbunny because one, I want to say no because I feel like they're just gonna have another excuse to make a firefighting type.
That's exactly what I hate.
that's what. Well, okay, they duped us with the last. Like, all right, here's the thing. For the last 2 generations, people have been saying, like, people take a look at Fennekin and they're like, oh no, it's a firefighting. People take a look at Litten and they're like, oh no, it's a firefighting. And then we get like fire psychic and then fire dark, which are some pretty cool typings.
But the issue is that you can look at Incineroar and immediately say they wanted to make firefighting, but they realized they would have had everyone busting down their door, so we got to change it to fire dark. And I don't care what you tell me that he is a dark type. He is a giant ass luchador. That if you just name a jalapeno, you have another halucha on your hands. And yeah, okay, he's technically the dark wrestler, but that still means he has fighting moves. Lopunny was just a normal type, and then we Mega Evolutioned her, and then we gave her tights, and we said she was normal fighting. She could have been anything, and you made her normal fighting.
Well, because just like works out and has got the yoga pants. Well, okay, you're right.
The yoga pants, I thought they were just supposed to be like torn tights or like
either one.
Stockings, whatever.
Well, that's my headcanon. But point is oh wait. What was I making a point? You were making a point.
Yeah, I was making the point that as much as I fear they are going to turn Scorbunny into a firefighting type, I am also hopeful that that's just the hinting, because then we'll actually say, okay, we have learned from our mistakes and we're actually going to make a fire other type for this Pokemon, because again, we kind of did Litten wrong, because you see Litten and then you evolve it and then it's like, oh, it's still just a really big cat.
No, it's muscular. It's on 4 legs. It's muscular.
No. Or like, what was it the between Litten and Incineroar?
Torracat. Yeah, Torracat.
Yeah. You got Torracat, but it was still just a really big, like, bigger cat. It was a bit longer, it was a bit wider, but you could still say it's just a cat. You didn't say, oh, it's going to suddenly start walking on 2 legs. You didn't say, oh, it's going to gain muscle. You're just thinking, oh, maybe it's going to turn into an actual Litten into, like, a tiger or a lion. Even though we already have a lion type fire Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, a lion fire Pokemon.
But we don't count them because fire normal.
Yeah, that was
just tacking normal type onto like any Pokemon.
But here, you actually have a chance to say, okay, if we do say it's going to be fire something, it could be fire Rog. Or...
I just hope that stupid Band-Aid on his face is just cheese. They just call it a day.
We slowly move the Band-Aid and it becomes an eye patch in its final evolution.
Like, no, I want them to straight up do it. Just make it a fat rabbit. Make it Big Chungus.
I'll take that.
All right.
But
So here's one reasoning though. People are like, all right, we already have one bunny that gets hot and is a waifu, and then the other bunny we have is a fat. is fat. Oh, what's his face?
I believe
the biggest, ugliest.
The ugly.
I believe I called it out when I said we made a low bunny into like the young high schooler.
So here's the thing. There's a waifu rabbit and there's a fat ugly rabbit. So people are like, all right, it's time for a thin cool rabbit. Obviously the fan art people are like, oh yeah, he's a soccer player and he's firefighting and he's edgy and he goes fast and he's like 2 inches taller than Sonic and he's like Sonic. He's just as fast as Sonic but a little faster. And he's best friends with Sonic and Tails and everyone. And this is my original character, Do Not Steal.
Well, by this point, they're all original characters.
Also, his balls are like 3 times bigger than Sonic's.
I don't know why we needed to describe that, but okay.
I don't know. His blood type, his eye color is this.
No, one of his eyes is this color, and the other one matches the Chaos Emerald he's currently equipped.
He's chaotic, or he's chaotic good. Megas. I'm here to make an announcement. Score Bunny's a bitch.
They don't need any more publicity. Just
exactly. Well, we were talking about Pokemon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We do this a lot. This is us whenever we're not podcasting. We just talk. We go from one topic into another, and then we start talking about why our roofs are colored scrapey.
Stop.
If you ran your hand against that, you feel like your skin's about to fall off. Yes. Don't you lie to me.
That's a cool thing about this. That's why I decided, all right, I'm gonna have, if I do a podcast, which I hope I can in the future.
Oh no.
But what is my thought was like, yeah, I want to do some sort of podcast, but I want it to be with like friends, people I know in real life, because then that lets just conversations flow. Because I've been in conversations with just people I've met online through YouTube, and again, no offense to them, they're all great people, and we had some pretty good conversations in calls. We've had some good conversations in calls, but we don't like know each other very very well. Like with us, we're like. We're best buddies, friends. Shoot, how long we known each other?
No, we're not.
It's
10 years?
No, not 10 years. Well, you guys known each other for 10 years.
No, we know each other for 10 years.
Us?
Yeah.
No.
We've all met each other at the same time.
No, 2011.
Yeah.
2011.
It's been 10 years.
It's 2019. That's 8 years.
I don't think you know this, but it never passed math.
It's 8 years. All right, 8 years. Okay, all right, fine. I think I started talking and hanging out with you guys a little later. So 7 years, right? From me. So 7 years. Yeah, that's it. Went to high school together. And then on top of that, like afterwards, it's like, oh no, the high school's done. Oh no, gotta move on with lives. Nah, just kidding. Well, okay, we still moved on with lives, but...
I think it kind of works and doesn't work because we can talk, but at the same time, with a regular podcast, if you're with like another co-star, you would stay on topic because you're like, okay, we don't really have much else to talk about. Whereas with us, we can talk about kinks, things that we don't like. We talk about the cars we drive, the people we meet, the guy who spat in my general direction at work. I called him out on it, and he just looked at me and walked away.
Wouldn't it so did it get on the floor? There was spit on the floor?
No. We were walking. I was passing him by, heading to the back room. He just spat right in front of me. Still walked by. I looked at him and said, "The hell?" And he just like looked at me, turned around, kept walking towards the entrance. And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
No.
People are morons.
I know. But I mean, point is, not that I want a serious. No, I'm not saying I don't want a serious podcast. I guess, but a lot of the podcasts that I like and I listen to,
this
like,
is funner.
yeah, this is more fun. Okay, you guys are gonna notice how much I'm stealing from like some other people when I mention it. But I like Super Mega Podcast, which is just two guys and they just talk and whatever, and they're funny. The Sleepy Cast isn't really going anymore, but I like just listening to a bunch of those old episodes because all right, those are like the dumbest, most hilarious things I find. And obviously, we're not going to get on their level because we're not idiots like that. They're like idiot. I mean, idiots in the best way because they're all like.
You want me to go
they're
hang
cool.
it against your wall?
What?
I can be more idiot if you want me to.
No.
I didn't notice this was a Snuggie.
Yeah, it's a Darth Vader Snuggie.
Okay.
Why do you have a Darth Vader Snuggie?
I was like, why?
Because I got it for Christmas one year and I actually used it. Because like when I'm sitting in the chair, like writing something or editing something on a call, you hit the mic with the Snuggie. You can see the waveform.
See, that's Snuggie's problem because it got him away.
But Well, because okay, it's like actually you're not even using it like a Snuggie.
Don't judge.
You didn't put your that's the whole point. It has arms, so you can put your arms through.
This is the point where your mother
Don't
would
tell
say,
me how to live.
It's like why are you doing this? I bought you this Snuggie, and then your friend's just taking it.
our mothers, only God can judge you. Us, it's my Snuggie. I can judge whatever I feel like.
See, it's the thing about the key. You buy your
See,
cat
look.
like an expensive bed, and then he just uses a box to sleep instead.
Exactly.
So.
Do you want to see? I got the Pokeball blanket on now. Do you want something? I got a blue one.
I'm wearing a jacket. I wear jackets every day. I'm good for the rest of my
Hey,
life.
do you want my sweater?
Nah, I'm good.
You want my?
I'm wearing a shirt, another shirt, and a jacket. I'm good.
You want an eye?
Do you want the sweater?
I wish there was a camera so people can see that you bought this.
For
For those of you who don't know, Josh,
Oh.
in an effort to copy me of just seeing something he likes and immediately buying it, immediately said, "Hey, you know what, guys? I'm buying a Hego sweater." And to those of you who also don't know, a Hego
stop.
is
They know.
Japanese.
Yo, you guys are meme worthy. You know what? All right, the hentai meme sweater that's in all the memes, and that they put like they drew Thanos in it. They drew the annoying kid from the Polar Express in it.
They put Isabel in it.
They put Isabel in it.
And
And
now
so-
it's Josh's turn.
And now it's my turn. It's the meme hoodie. Because I got a bunch of masks too that I use for videos. Well, all right. So I started stockpiling like just toy masks from back when I didn't show my face in videos, and mostly because it was a joke. It was a meme. Well, okay. How that started was because because before I was using decent software to record stuff, like my video and my audio I'd just have the worst time syncing it up. So I just wear a mask so that I don't have to perfectly match up the lip movements.
That's cheeky, that's lazy, but that's hilarious.
Exactly.
I mean, it works.
But I use them for memes now. I don't know. Memes are cool, but like,
How's that working out for
like
you?
I know how's that working out for you? Like my memes, guys. Watch this podcast. The podcast is the most viewed series on this specific channel. Like, okay, on this where I post the podcast now, the podcast is the most viewed series. Whereas if I were to put it on the main channel, it would be the least viewed, but it would still get more views technically. Okay, for one thing, again, I've gotten questions on like, oh, why is the podcast on GatorEX Plays instead of GatorEX? Again, this goes to me really liking Super Mega and wanting to rip them. Stop rubbing the mic; it's gonna come up. This comes from me liking Super Mega and not necessarily wanting to be them, but that's kind of the channel I want to go for. Just we got a podcast every so often. There's gameplay videos, which by the way, there's gonna be co-op gameplay soon. Stop! You're gonna. Look, look. Do you see what you did? Do you see the waveforms?
It's for science, Josh. You need to.
It's not for science.
My question is, how does it know what air sounds like in order to say it reached the maximum bar?
Well, because it like the air cuts through so quickly and then it just comes up in the mic.
So it's an anime attack.
Exactly.
I am air.
See,
bender, Josh.
this is what we got. See, this is what we got to do. We got to get we got to open up the Patreon, and then for $1 a month, you get a video with the podcast. Eventually.
Yes, here my
Although you gotta
handsome face.
no, you gotta wear a mask.
One of us is upside down, one of
You've
us
gotta-
is sitting literally on the edge of his seat, and one of us is covered in Pokeballs.
Exactly. Well,
Out of context, it sounds very harrowing, but in reality, it's very tame.
because we're on a okay, because the couch technically is big enough for all three of us, but I mean we'd all be
We don't
real
say
close to
anything,
each other.
that's gay.
What's this? No, we're all like 5 feet apart from each other. No homo, bro. Yeah, no homo, bro. Yeah, like 5 feet apart. That's why it sounds terrible. There's one mic and we're 5 feet apart, trying not to touch each other.
Again, I am on the edge of my seat. One of us is taking the entire couch.
Well, you're like that. You're taking up a good like 2/3 of the couch.
I know what I'm doing.
Well, I'm sitting on this chair because I can't sit on my good chair because it squeaks too much.
Don't fear the squeak.
I need to. I'm not gay. I'll touch y'all right now.
You want to go? I'm ready for fisticuffs, bro.
Fisting.
I like how your response is, I'm not gay, I will touch you.
I'm so not gay. I'll kiss you both. That won't feel a thing. Watch.
Go on, kiss your homies.
Kiss your homies goodnight.
If you want to go
Advocates
good, I
for-
got memes for that too.
Stop.
Not all of
Memes.
them are wholesome.
Which,
I'm warning you right
or it
now.
reminds me of the Seinfeld thing. No, we're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Come on, man.
Not that which I haven't watched Seinfeld in so long. Dang it.
It's 2020. It's time to accept yourself.
It's 20, like okay. The whole like sexuality is a spectrum. I believe that. Because well, for one thing, all right, fine.
Yes,
Obviously,
yes, we know you like traps. Okay.
no, stop. All right, fine. The three of us, obviously, I don't think the three of us are like close to dating a guy like close. Like okay, most guys I interact with, but I did notice,
If he's cute enough.
if he's Ryan Gosling.
Wait, who?
Ryan Gosling from La La Land and Blade Runner 2049.
Wait, that was him?
Yeah.
I just saw him as wannabe Harrison Ford.
No, okay. Let's all right. Blade Runner 2049, like the epitome of like, hey, you're not special, and your waifu isn't real. That was the whole story, and I like that. Like, wait, actually, his name is K. That's right. Yeah, his name's K. But he's like, no, straight up. That was it. I like K in that movie. That was straight up, and again, you know, he's hot. But that's straight up the story. Like, he's not important, and his waifu isn't real. That's literally his story. That's literally.
And
his
that's
story.
the worst part, because I'm the one who likes happy endings. If you're gonna introduce a hero, it's like, okay, either he dies a really cool death, and then we see the end credits where all the people he saved are going away, or he gets his waifu a robot body, he takes a car, fakes his death, and goes off for robot baby. It's not, his waifu isn't real, and he just feels like the worst person ever.
At the same time, like I feel like it's also about like overcoming that, because I don't know. Should we like dive into the plot of the story? At its most basic points, K is a replica, not you.
Replicant. They prefer to be called replicants.
Replicant. Why did I say replica? Replicant. Basically an android. And for most of the movie, he thinks he's this very special replicant that was like born basically. He also has this hologram girlfriend. Oh, okay, that's what I think the genius is, because he's a replicant, which is an android, right? And the whole thing is like, you know, these androids are basically human, but they're not. And they're basically human and they're not. And for so long they've been treated like less than human because they kind of are. But at the same time, you know, they're very close to humans.
But he still has like he does his job. He still goes home. He still complains about his day. He still has all the things that a normal human would. It's just to him, they're just implanted because he's a robot. Yeah,
and like him having the hologram girlfriend, right? Like she's even less human than he is, because she's just like an AI hologram. So, which I find that even more interesting, because, you know, that's like his attempt at some companionship is that hologram, who again is even less human than he is. And so there's this, again, spoilers, I guess. We did a lot of spoilers in episode 1, but he basically gets to a point where like he realizes that he's not the special person he thought he was. And he's just walking in the city, and he sees this advertisement for the hologram girlfriend that he had, right? You know, the advertisement hologram just comes up to him and basically tells him like all the same things that his hologram girlfriend had. Like, you see him interacting with his hologram girlfriend, you're like, oh, that's so sweet, she loves him, and she gives him a name and calls him Joe, right? And then it gets to this point where it's like he sees an advertisement for this product, which he had this hologram girlfriend that was basically a product, and it's saying the exact same things to him, and it calls him Joe. And it's that moment like, dang, he basically lived his life like he bought this cheap product, basically this waifu thing, in an attempt for companionship. And the way it was presented to us at the beginning, we thought it was like an actual legitimate kind of relationship, if at all, or like his attempt at like companionship. But it turns out this is just a product that anyone can have. And it just drives in the point even more so that he's not special. He's like literally one of just so many. But then that's the turning point where he decides to like go and like do something with himself and become special in a way. Like, okay, sorry. I really like the movie, and I like the theme of it. At least that theme. Well, that's the thing with movies. Like, you can watch a movie and so many people can get different different themes from it, different interpretations from it. And that's my interpretation, at least. And that's what I really like about it, about Blade Runner 2049 specifically.
2 things about this.
Yeah.
One, as a lonely 20-something with not a lot to do and so many waifus, but only one that holds dear to my heart. Tharja, why aren't you real? For things like this, even though obviously there are a bunch of games and visual novels and movies where you have your waifu and you could play them and you could get the voice lines and the pictures of them and swimsuits are made, but they still go to you and say like, hey master, I love you. And although that is technically fake, that is just an actress who probably voices like a dozen other characters just like her, saying the same thing to everyone else who rolls her or gets her. But to us, that feels real. That is our way of getting it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the argument of like, oh, well, it's not a real girl, so it's not like the real thing. But then, even if it is a simulation of emotions, if it feels real to us, even knowing it's fake, does that make it any less real? Like, if a robot, like, if your computer straight up just comes to you and says, I love you, and you're like, I've had this computer for a long time, and even if it is just like saying, copying all these feelings for me, but it's programmed to feel love for me because I bought it and it considers me its owner, and it says "I love you," does that make its feelings any less real than for me to say that to a girl of my dreams or a girl that I've learned to love?
Well, for me, it's like I'm thinking back to the story of Don Quixote.
Oh yeah.
What's the name? Don Quixote is a story about like back in Mexico and everything. A knight, if you could call him a knight, he thinks he's a knight. He idealizes this his isekai fantasy of trying to be a knight and chivalry and everything. And sure, he goes out and plays it off. He forces people to play along with it. But at the end of the day, that's all his makeshift things.
Yeah, he's still a crazy old man.
He's still a crazy old man. Honest, and you know, from my perspective at least, everyone else who's living the real life, we're having like fantastical adventures that kind of more exciting than what he was doing. If he got out of his own world, he might have found Tharja in real life, kind of thing. No offense, but what's to say, like, it's a thing of like you can't really judge and say that this is the whole world isolated into a computer thing if you've never actually seen the world you're in right now. For me, it's more of a, guys, if you know the system, you gotta play the system. So it's like, you know, if you want an adventurous life, then go find an adventurous life, even if it costs you an arm.
Yeah.
Or your waifu.
Or your waifu.
Which it did him.
Yes.
Very much so. I was still sad. Oh, I legitimately cried at the loss of his virtual waifu.
I got too.
Oh yeah, and my second point was, we were trying to talk about Pokemon and whether or not Sword and Shield would be good, but...
That's, I mean, you know, that plays into it. I mean, alright, Pokemon ain't real, but like...
We ain't never gonna go on this.
It again, in a way, it's almost like the whole like, oh, why are you playing a game when you could be doing something else? Or like the whole thing, why are you watching this guy play a game when you can go play the game yourself? And then again, you know, the whole double standard thing of like, oh, but you're going to go watch sports. You're going to go watch the Super Bowl. Why don't you go out and play football or something?
Yeah. With that said, it's like, I would imagine that when it goes, the satisfying thing, at least for me when I play video games, is like, for as much as I love to say, like, just go out and do your thing and everything and, like, you know, work hard and everything, in video games, I could actually see the level up grind. Mm-hmm. It gives me a numerical value that says you need these many points until you level up. Real life, it ain't cut out that easily. You know, you could be working on it for years to do your whole master's degree and everything. You still be like,
well, aside
next
from
is law school, great.
Aside from the scale like gives actual numbers, like the weight scale.
Weight scale.
For me, it's like half and half because I kind of put it into the categories of named and unnamed protagonists. Because when you have a named protagonist, like a game I'm playing called Metro Exodus, there you're playing a guy named Artyom and you're going through an entire Russia after nuclear war, 20 years after it. But there it's like Artyom has years of battle training, he has a wife, he has a father-in-law, he has his friends. And they're not my friends. I barely know them for this one game. But to him, he's known them for years. They know him. But after playing it for a while, it's like, yeah, I know these characters. I know Duke, I know Sam, I know Anya's kind of a bitch, but she's also dying of like liver or lung cancer or something. I'm on a train, and although I'm like pressing a button and drinking a coffee or drinking whiskey, to them it's like having friends. And to me, it's like I'm kind of actually enjoying being friends with these characters, even though I've only been playing for a couple hours. And then I can enjoy like it's not my story, but I am at least seeing through it, and I'm probably never gonna live an experience like this. So at least the monotony sometimes could be good. But that's like if I'm named. If it's someone else, like if you're playing Persona as main character name, Akira Caruso, the character doesn't look like you. None of us are going to be a 6-foot-tall, bushy-haired, glasses playboy who gets to just talk to a doctor and immediately get her to love him.
Well, hey, I'm 6 feet, so I'm halfway there.
Do you have the bushy hair?
Oh, I just cut my hair.
Do you have a cat that talks to you?
No.
Yeah.
Who tells you to go to sleep?
No, I'm allergic.
But at least
go to sleep.
But at least in the game, if you ever played it, you could say like, yeah, even though it's not my actual life, I could still get some enjoyment out of this.
Yeah.
Whereas in unnamed ones, where you just play as like a visual novel, and then you're just being like, oh hey, insert name here. Want to go out to the beach? Yes. No. Maybe later. At least there you get to say, at least there are some options that I could make for myself, or at least pretend if I was in these situations I could enjoy. It's like the whole isekai, oh man, if I was in this world, here's what I would try to do. And that's fun.
Yeah, no, I always love the fact that you could go into like, you know, not just isekais or, you know, but even anime, you could think like Boku no Hero and think of like, what would I do in that class? And,
Yeah.
And again, there too, like you could either just watch the show and see Deku and like say, oh, I would do this or I wouldn't do that, or man, that was a cool thing of seeing someone else's life. Or you could say, make my own character, put myself in there, and then see what goes on.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like, I love just thinking of those things. Like, my friend always regarded that as shipping, even though it's like not shipping. If you're a shipper, you automatically make people your OC and everything. and like go into it. It's like when you go into your OC, like I guess I'll say I respect those people, but I say that with caution.
Right now, you're not able to see it, but we're looking at a Switch store page for My Girlfriend is a Mermaid, which is a visual novel about
Just $25.
About pleasuring yourself with your fish.
No, it's about it. No, okay.
pleasuring your fish with yourself.
All right, fine. No. It says that summer I met you, the mermaid. Our protagonist lives in the city, but one summer decides to return to his rural hometown, and it is there. There he once again meets his childhood friend Ion, who is now a mermaid. Well, point is, okay, fine, mermaid visual novel.
But my thing is that like from there, I don't know if he has a name like for Nekopara Nekopara. Your character does have a name. I can't think of it right now because I always hate it. But the thing is, like, he has a name. He has parents. He has his own bakery. So you're not saying, oh man, if I was a guy who had my own bakery, you're instead reading about this guy who has his own bakery with cat-made girls and eventually cat-made girlfriends.
Well, if you want, you could be like Elon Musk, who paid $10,000 to have his OC in Nekoparo.
That wasn't. You can't prove that was him, but you can't not prove.
Exactly.
But my thing is that, like, there again,
the initials of the guy were E and M. So
there's a lot of names between E and M.
You know, I'm just saying you never saw E and M and Elon Musk in the same room together. Just gonna say that right now.
My point is, like, you're not living saying like, oh man, if I was in that life. You're watching some other guy's life. When you're watching the CGs of him petting them or doing lewd stuff to them, you're saying like, that skin tone is different, that hair is different, that's not me. But you're still enjoying it because it's like, yeah, the visuals are nice, and seeing this guy go through his life, that's good.
At least the face isn't completely saying that's not me.
Whereas if you're watching something where it's saying like, hi, my name is GatorEX, I just got to this Japanese school called UA and I'm hoping to become a hero. There you could be like, I'm probably never going to get anything good in this life.
You're never going to pass this midterm, Josh. That's me.
That's me. But at least you could, for that second, say, yeah, I feel like that would be cool. Because otherwise, you're just like, oh man, I can't wait to go day by day. Every episode for them, big event. Every episode day for us. Oh man, I can't wait to turn in those tax returns. I wonder how much money I'm getting this time.
Hey, I'm getting money this year, actually.
Woo.
You haven't done that yet?
No, I did. I met with my tax guy this week.
And how much did you get back?
I haven't gotten it back yet. I'm not at, what's the word? Liberty to disclose that info.
Okay.
I'm going to ballpark it and say about $1 YouTube dollar.
Wow. How'd you know?
Because
by the way, if you got a YouTube dollar to spare, which is basically just a view and a click, thank you so much for giving it to us, by the way.
I'd take it back because I don't want it.
You guys count as YouTubers now because you've been in this. Oh, you got to share this channel.
No, if I'm a YouTuber, then that means I have to make daily content.
No. Oh, but I mean, the whole thing is again with that thing. I think when it comes to just any kind of media, like even regardless whether you have input over it or not, like media is something where we tend to like self-insert ourselves anyway, right? And you know, you watch a movie, even if it's not necessarily like a first, okay, like Hardcore Henry, right, is an entire first-person movie, and it's like, oh wow, it's like I'm seeing what he's doing. But like with any movie where you're watching somebody else who's clearly a different character, like there are times where you might see yourself in that character or in like the side characters or something. It's the thing of like you tend to project yourself onto like other characters and other things. Like, okay, a topical thing, right, with Captain Marvel. And that came out. And one thing that people say, you know, diversity and representation is important in media. And I think it is definitely to a degree. Okay, for one thing, I don't think that you need to necessarily look exactly like the person on the screen or be the exact same race. Because, like, all right, for me, I'm hardly ever going to see any character with my exact same race, my exact same social situation as, like, a superhero, basically, or any kind of main character in anything. But I see parts of myself in like so many different forms of media.
You know, my friend, his mom's from Mexico and then his dad's from like Jamaica or something, right?
Yeah.
And what's the name? So he's like, he looks black, and the thing is that he watched the Spider-Man movie, and then he was like, wow, he saw that his mom was like Mexican and his dad was black.
Yeah.
And then he was like, wow, so that's what it feels like to be represented.
Yeah. And I mean, you know,
and then I looked behind my chair and saw his face throughout the whole movie.
And I saw a young black boy in the theater enjoying the movie so much. I didn't even watch the movie. I just watched this kid the whole time.
I still feel sorry for him. We know what he was trying to say, but he just conveyed it so wrong.
God, yeah. Okay, it's the tweet where the guy is like saying how when he was watching Spider-Verse the second time, he didn't watch the movie. He just stared at this kid behind him in the theater. And he's like, and when I see Captain Marvel for the second time, I'll do the same thing and look at a little girl in the theater. It's like, hey, wait a second, you can't say that. You can't say that, my guy. Yeah, I mean, like you said, there is a point. Like, you don't have to be exactly like, but to a degree, we see ourselves in characters. And again, that's the whole thing with like writing. People who write these stories, a lot of the times it's their own personal experiences put into a movie. And, you know, they're like, what are we at? Like over 7 billion people in the world? We're probably getting, you know, we're over 7 billion people in the world. And not saying that like we're all the same, but very likely. Like there are so many people in the world. And I'm not saying that like we're all the same, but with 7 billion people in the world, like you're bound to have a similar experience to someone else. And, you know, there's a good chance that someone else is, you know, just so happens to be writing your favorite anime or directing your favorite movie or programming, you know, your favorite game or whatever. And so
I think it's also to give us experiences that we probably won't get, because
Yeah.
if I were to play Pokemon Sword and Shield right now, it'd probably start off with me living in a cottage. I get up, I go over to my backpack that looks really nice, open up my journal that says, if you want to run, press B, close it up, go downstairs, talk to my mom, maybe get a dad this time. Walk out the door, immediately get greeted by a friend. Whereas in real life, I get out of my crappy bed, clear out my backpack that doesn't have a lot, no notebooks because I'm kind of poor, walked over, meet my mom, no dad, and then go out and then immediately start heading to work. No adventure because I'm too old, just go to work. So at least there I could say, I'm probably not going to be young again, but at least there. Whereas if I handed it off to my cousins in Mexico, they could say, oh, you know what? That's not how I wake up, but now I at least have an idea of how it would be to wake up. I never had a dog. Well, guess what? Now I got a Grookey.
Uh-huh.
What the hell's a Grookey? It's a monkey. I thought it was a coconut.
It's a groovy monkey.
This looks more like a hog than it does a monkey.
See, well,
Look at this boy.
It's gonna end up being a girl monkey.
Well, one thing I do about anime, like, you know how, you know, early on, this is like early college year or something. I had like a thought. You know how in anime there's always that like the one guy who's just sitting there, and then like out of nowhere this random character, you'd be a girl, a guy, turns him and then whisk him off into an anime adventure. Like even if it's slice of life, you get the whole like experience of it.
Yeah.
And I go, wait, there's no one like that in real life, is there? Like that's never gonna happen. Like I thought, you know what? I'll do that. I'll not hesitate and, you know, be the outgoing person and everything. And for those who know me, I'm like one of the most antisocial guys there is.
What?
So yeah, no, like the most antisocial person. Like I cannot stand talking more than 2 people. You know, all that stuff. If no one else is gonna do it, then you know, go out and make your so-called anime adventure. Don't do anything illegal.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Don't do anything illegal and get caught.
That's don't do it anyway.
I think it, and
Well, I was gonna say no. That's again like my interpretation of the Blade Runner movie. Again, like that's what started this whole thing. Like, yeah, go out and do it yourself. Be the special person, or help the special person, or make yourself special by, like, you know, going out doing something.
Yeah, get good, son.
I'm more just like, if you're gonna do it, try to have fun with it. Because
Yeah.
again, we're probably not. That's why we have these, because we can't simulate this. I'm not gonna walk outside, meet a stray dog, and then say, "Oh, I can pick it up, name it, and then treat it fine." It's either, okay, he bites me, and then I have to call animal security and a doctor to make sure I'm cured, or I do take him home and then have to go through the lengthy process of getting him shot, getting him collared, treating him good as a pet, and then hope he gets good, rather than just picking it up, naming him Metatron, and then praising him as a new god of the world.
You see, even when I was like back in school and everything, and I would do like competitions or stuff, and you had those anime moments like back against the wall, no one's gonna think about you winning and everything. And like, to be realistic, I know I'm not gonna win, and like I'm not like, you know. But then I think like, at least I'll take them with me, kind of thing, you know.
Whereas I was the pratfall / comedic relief, where a dodgeball came out of nowhere, hit me in the balls, and everyone just sees me fall to my knees slowly, and I'm just sitting there. They ask me, "Am I okay?" And then I fall to my side. Also, that is not a joke. That literally happened. I'm pretty sure someone recorded it, but everyone saw it happen.
That work?
No,
at school.
All right.
Remember, I got hit, and then immediately I'm just like down on my knees, and people were just like, "Dude, are you okay?"
Was this high school?
Yeah, it was high school.
Okay, because I think I remember.
Or that other time when we're just like talking, I think it was about girls, and then I just had a nosebleed, and everyone's just looking at me like, "Bro, are you okay?" Like out of nowhere. I was immediately just like, "Oh God." People are looking at me like, "Are you having an aneurysm? Did a girl just show her panties? What happened to you?"
He ascended to
He
read
was
them.
saying he was ascending into actual anime.
For that split second.
But that's the thing. Either of you could be the main protagonist because you've told me all your stories and you know your stories. Whereas I am the fool. I'm the one who has to hope I get the side chick.
No, you're the main character of your own life. No
Yeah.
matter what.
We can't all be main characters.
You
That's
see-
why I'm taking it realistically and at least enjoying the fact that I'm the comedic relief.
You see, no, realistically speaking, I can't be a main character. Mostly because everything I do, sure, it looks all extravagant, but I can already tell you that some jerk in orange is going to beat me out in every single thing I do. You know.
So what does that make you, the rival?
Yeah, that's the best I got.
Who are you the rival to then?
I don't know.
You've beaten everyone else. Are you just the rival slowly building your reputation until the moment you walk into a courtroom, everyone else is hushing about like, oh my god, Kay just came in. He's going to totally win the case for sure. That newbie's got nothing on him.
Yeah,
the newbie shows you up and immediately that's when it
The
starts.
newbie shows up in an orange suit.
You know,
and he goes
imagine like how that must be, because like, you know, it's in an anime, and again, we're not following that character, but like imagine being that character.
Exactly. Trained
I
for
never-
thousands
I
of years,
never
and
really
the
thought of
kid
that.
like starts talking about friendship, and then he wins.
And then you realize that kid just somehow let a murderer get free.
Exactly.
You're like, well, not straight up, but like what's his name? The dude, the long-haired dude in Food Wars. Who's always hanging out with Alice.
Oh.
That's why when I'm like, okay, so I'm watching Food Wars, and I got to Alice, I'm like, and then you're like, oh, I like Alice, I'm like, I see. Well, it's because exactly when I was watching, I'm like, oh, wait a second, this guy seems familiar.
Oh no.
I need to fall more into like an anime trope myself.
I don't know how I feel about that.
You know, well, like this is it. This is like the real like spilling guts to each other. It's like, oh yeah, no, I've been going through this like really rough time and this and that. No. It's all about like when I watched this anime, then I saw this guy and that was straight up you.
At least you didn't say like, you know what, I met you and I realized who you were. Klein from Sorta. You remind me of Klein. You want to be that guy? Because guess what? You can't, because I'm that guy. I'm the supporting character who does nothing.
See, there's a thing about the supporting character. It's like, oh my god. Angel Densu was on, but still. So
Angel Densetsu was about the side character.
it was about side characters because he was a side character of everyone else until he noticed that he wasn't the side character.
He was the villain to everyone else, and they just didn't realize he was a good guy.
Exactly. But he was helping them all along. It's about a guy with a really scary face who's like really, really nice and wholesome.
Okay.
So like you'd look at him and you'd assume he's just about to beat the shit out of you, but then you hear his inner monologue like, oh my god, he just dropped his pencil case. Let me pick it up and run after him so he can get it. You look behind you. You just see this like 5'9" guy just running after you with like his fist clenched, and you're thinking, oh my god, he's actually going to run against me. I gotta run faster. Him. Oh, he must be going for his daily jog. He must have a lot of stamina. I hope I can catch up. Zooms after you.
Zoom.
And he talks like this. Like that.
Like imagine that thing that goes re, except he does it every 5 seconds.
I don't know. I need to get some closing thoughts. This is what we've been here for a good amount of time.
And we were supposed to talk about one thing, and then we
I know.
lost track, and then we started talking about more.
Which, like I said, that's the whole point of it. That's why I like this so much. Is like that's why. Well, generally, I don't really have solid topics. I think we only had a solid topic for like episode 2, and really that took up like basically the whole episode. Because you know, episode 1, I had like no real topic. Well, okay, like these last 2 ones, like just a loose topic. But I don't know. If you guys enjoy how this is going with the podcast, go ahead and let us know. I think we're gonna go ahead and end it. You guys got last thoughts? Anything you want to leave off with until like 2 weeks from now?
For those of you who were actually hoping we talk about Pokemon, I am so sorry that
We did.
we talked about like it as an interjection between every other point. But my actual final thoughts on Sword and Shield. I hope it's good, not joking about the Pokemon, but I am desperately hoping for a rival. Because I swear to you, if we get like whoever as our best friend, I want there to be a new black and white thing where we get a best friend and an actual rival. I want one person to say, oh my god, we just met in this town, let me heal your Pokemon for you, let me give you a heads up on whoever you're facing. I want one of them, and then I want another one that says, so you finally got here, punk? Well then I guess it's time for us to fight to see who's stronger. Because if we just get nothing but friends, that's why I'm not pre-ordering it, that's why I'm hesitant, because if we're just following the same, the villain isn't really that intimidating or that interesting. Lucamine was a disappointment. The Otherworld and Ultra was disappointing. Flare was disappointing because they had like, we're gonna murder everyone, but then they lose, and then there's no real repercussions because the main villain realize he doesn't want to murder people.
They'll just go away.
I just want an actual challenge again for, at least not, if not for me, for the newer generation. Because all they know is friendship. That's good for your animes. That's good for your light novels. That's good for your soul.
That's good for real life, I hope.
But we all want someone, but sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you just want someone to say, I really want to deck you in the face. But since I can't do that without alerting the authorities, I'm going to just beat you up with my fire dog. Fire dog? I transferred my Arcanine.
You need a Bakugo in your life.
Yeah.
It may not always be fun, but at least it's entertaining.
Like I
just
said,
want
we're
a
not...
good villain.
Yeah, good villain.
That's all I ask.
But anyway, like I said, we're not necessarily going to keep this always Pokemon-oriented. Sometimes we'll talk about Pokemon. If you have any questions, which... what?
I'm dying.
Oh no, that's his death flag. That's the cough that comes about 2 episodes before he tells us, I have stage 5 lung cancer that I only now discovered.
That's when the guy in orange comes in between.
Well, it's a soul-crushing blow, but we're going to go ahead and let you recover. Anyway, again, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. You can address us directly. Also, on the comments of this video, you can also ask questions to Nerds, and he'll be answering them in the next one. Any questions for Kay or Bait, we'll answer 2 weeks from now.
Unless one of us has a free schedule, in which case we'll answer it as soon as possible.
Exactly. If you'd like to see more stuff from us, just let us know, because we're gonna
schedule.
be around here. I know. I wish I had a free schedule. But anyway, you've been listening to the GatorEX podcast. It's been a very successful episode 4. We're gonna celebrate some milestones eventually, hopefully. Sadly, it's gonna take us like 2 years to get to episode 69 if we go at this pace.
Nice.
But maybe episode 10 could be pretty cool. Anyway, this has been GatorEX. Have a good night.
And sings Pokemon rap. Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Articuno, Jinx, Nidorino, Beedrill, Hunter, Squirtle, Chance, Pokemon. Parasect, Execute, Move, Dewgong, Johto, Lapras, Vulpix, Rhydon.
Catch another episode of Pokemon next on Kids WB.